This coming Saturday is the Go Fest finale event. This is the final Go Fest event of the year, thus the word finale in its name. But nevertheless, your boy is here to offer you some tips and tricks for the final Go Fest event of the year. Let's not waste any time. Let's get straight on into it. Alright, ladies and gentlemen of the YouTube citizens, y'all know who this is. It's your boy True Inferno. Today's day is Wednesday, August the 24th. So as you can obviously tell, I'm home. I made it home from Tampa. That was a great experience. My first, let's say this, my first solo trip in a long time. I'll put it to you like that. So great trip. No, there was some complaints, but not a lot. And I had a blast for my birthday. So now we're back home. Now we're gonna get on to business. So this coming Saturday is the Go Fest finale event, in case you forgot. So I'm gonna give you guys some tips and tricks on how to make the best out of the Go Fest finale event. So let's not waste any time. Let's get on straight into it. So I'm gonna say the usual here. You want to stock up in Pokeballs. You want to stock up on Pokeballs, obviously. You know, because you're going to be catching Pokemon. Whether you're going to try to capture everything in sight, or you're just going to be looking for specific Pokemon, or you're just going to be shiny hunting, or a combination of. So you want to stock up on Pokeballs. So basically every content creator who does one of these videos will say that. Now what I will say, however, is this. If you are specifically shiny hunting, you want Great Balls and Ultra Balls. Now, I'm not saying transfer every single one of your regular Pokeballs, but you really want to focus on Great Balls and Ultra Balls. Now, why do I say that? Because the chance of you catching that shiny with a Great Ball and especially Ultra Ball is much higher. So if you want to do a quick catch on a shiny, you can definitely do so with an Ultra Ball or the Great Ball and don't have to worry about, oh man, did I catch it? Did I miss it? Did it run away? What? No, that won't be a thing. It'd be used an Ultra Ball especially, or a Great Ball. Now, to add on to the certainty that you quick catch a shiny, here's where the next step comes to play. Stock up on raspberries and golden raspberries. So if you use the raspberry or the golden raspberry in combination with the Great Ball or Ultra Ball, yeah, the chance of you successfully quick catching your shiny will be that much higher. Now, if you don't want to quick catch, and I understand that because I know quick catch shinies as well, use the AR method. So that's another tip. Use the AR method to capture Pokemon as quickly as possible. Or you can do like a half race sort of a quick catch glitch. Now what does that mean? So what that means is this. Like you do the normal trick, but there's one catch. There's one difference. So before you run from the Pokemon, while it's in the Pokeball, you want to see the Pokeball shake. If it shakes 3 times, that means it's a catch. And you can instantly run. You caught it right there on the spot. Now, that's like if you want to, do the quick catch glitch, but not fully, because normally you'll be like, oh, do the trick, and then once you hit it in the ball, you instantly run. You don't do that in this case. In this case, you wait to see if the ball rolls 3 times. If it does, then you know it's a catch. You run right there on the spot. So you want to deal with the whole stats popping up, and then you checking out the Pokemon and your inventory and all that crap. You don't have to deal with that. So if you want to do the somewhat of a softer moment or version rather of the quick catch glitch, you can do that here. But if you want to make sure that you want to catch your shinies, stock up on Great Balls and Ultra Balls, stock up in raspberries and golden raspberries as well, and either use the soft version of the quick catch glitch or capture your Pokemon in AR mode. Check your Pokemon in AR mode definitely, and yeah, you should be straight from there. You're gonna be catching as many shinies as you can. You could be quick catching, or quick checking rather, as many shinies as you can as well. Moving on. Use rare candies all throughout the event, because really the main bonus here is you getting XP. So you want to use rare candies throughout the entire event, especially if you need that XP. So keep that in mind as well. Now, if you're going to be catching everything in plain sight, yeah, rare candies and a star piece. Put those 2 items on, you should be straight. But if you're just going to be looking for a specific Pokemon, or you still want to capture everything in plain sight, but you don't need the Stardust, then use the rare candies. But I'll be honest, if you're going to be catching everything in sight, just put on both, the rare candy and the star piece. Just put them both on. Now, even though you're watching this video, and you're probably doing this already if you're watching, especially if you're watching this video, but I'm going to mention this to you anyway. Plan accordingly. Now, let me be more specific. Let me remind you of some things. There's 4 habitats, and each habitat will last for 2 hours. Now what that means is it will not be 1 hour during this time frame and then that habitat will come back again for another hour. No, one habitat will last for 2 hours straight. So, you know, we're talking from 10 to noon, that's one habitat. Noon to 2, that's another habitat. 2 to 4, that's another habitat. And then 4 to 6, that's the final habitat. 4 habitats, each one lasted for 2 hours straight. Not 1 hour in the morning and then another hour in that. No, that's not the case here. So plan accordingly. Like you can only do half of the event because you have to do something else. Plan accordingly and things of that nature. Another thing you want to, and I talked about this earlier, you want to plan accordingly in regards to whether or not you're going to capture everything in plain sight, or you're going to be shiny hunting, or you're going to be focusing on specific Pokemon, which we'll get to in a second. So if you're doing what, you got to make sure, you know, you plan accordingly which one you want to do. You want to do obviously one of those three. Obviously you still want to shiny hunt, but do you want to catch everything in plain sight, or there's certain Pokemon that you're trying to focus on because they could be good for PvP, they're good for the Mega, and you want to, you know, get enough candies to power them up, they're good for raids, or whatever the case may be, or you just strictly shiny hunting, which is really what I'll be doing. So there you go with that. Now, which brings me to the next thing. What are the Pokemon that you want? So you gotta decide on what are the Pokemon that you want. So I can give you some advice on that, not to mention what Pokemon you should consider mega evolving per habitat time frame. So let's start off with the first habitat of the event, and that would be the Pheromosa habitat, which again lasts from 10 a.m. to noon. So the Pokemon you want to mega evolve will be either Scizor, Lopunny, or Beedrill. And I'm not going to explain why, because you know the typings will match up with those Pokemon in that first habitat. Now there's other megas that you want to evolve outside of those three. Go ahead and knock yourself out, and let me know in the comment section below if you have any better suggestions in terms of Pokemon you want to mega evolve, not just within the Pheromosa habitat, but for all 4 habitats as well. Now, me personally, this is my opinion, this is the top tier Pokemon you should be gunning for within the Pheromosa habitat. So we're looking at Hitmontop, Carablast, and Pansage if you have a ticket for the Pansage. Now the Hitmontop, that's like relatively a newer shiny, and now it's been spawning around where originally once upon a time you're going to get that from getting the pre-evolution form and then evolving it into Hitmontop if you got the right stats. I forgot what those stats are, but nowadays Hitmontop is spawning around like Hitmonchan and Hitmonlee is, and yes, it can be shiny, but that is still a tough shiny to get. So that's why it's in that top tier class. Carablast is a relatively new one as well, so that's the reason why that one's in the top tier class. Now Pansage is new, so and that is a regional, so that if you have a ticket, that should without question be in the top tier. So I'm gonna be gunning for all 3 of these. So I still need a shiny Hitmontop, I still need a shiny Pansage. I got one shiny Carablast, but I want another one to complete the family, and then I'll be straight with this habitat. Now, before I move on, let me also remind you guys that the Pikachu Random Scarf will be spawning in all 4 habitats. That should be a first tier Pokemon that you should be gunning for as well in terms of it's shiny. Now, if you're like, oh, there's another Pikachu with a costume, okay, I can understand that, but outside of those who feel that way, the Pikachu wearing the scarf will be obviously top tier class throughout all 4 habitats, along with the unknowns. Now the unknowns, you gotta have a ticket and you gotta be using the incense for them to spawn. Same with the Pansage. So keep that in mind as well. The unknowns should be top tier throughout the entire event, not just 1 or 2 habitats, the entire event. Now let's move on to the second tier. So now we're looking at Anorith, Rubat, Scyther, Pinsir, and Sudowoodo. Now these are the ones that I'm guessing that most people have, but you know there may be some of you guys or gals that might not have it, or that you might need it to complete the family, whatever the case may be. So that's why I put those as second tier, because they're not new, they're not exactly desirable on a global scale, in my opinion, that is. So but they still desirable in their own right. It is desirable for some of you guys, so that's why I put them in second tier. Now, the PvP relevant Pokemon in this habitat will be Meditite. That's the only one, because Medicham is, obviously we've seen this at Worlds, Medicham is meta relevant, heavily meta relevant in Great League. So that would be really the only PvP Pokemon that you should be gunning for in the Pheromosa habitat if you're into PvP. And of course the Mega, you want to focus on Scyther. Scyther will be spawning like crazy. Yes, it does have a shiny. And again, that is a part of the second tier as well. Not just because it's got a Mega, but because, you know, the shiny is somewhat desirable, but it does have a Mega. That is the only Mega relevant Pokemon in this habitat. Now, let's move on to Buzzroll, which will be from noon to 2 p.m. So, the Mega that you want to evolve here would be Scizor, Lopunny, Beedrill, Altaria, or Aerodactyl. So, again, there's other options for you out there. I'm pretty sure there are because, you know, Altaria isn't the only dragon Mega out there. You got Latios and Latias, but I will not recommend you waste those here. I would not recommend you do that. But let's move on. The desirable Pokemon here, the top 10 Pokemon that you want to capture will be Nomo, Axew, and if you have a ticket, Pansear. So Nomo is, again, a relatively new shiny to a degree, but if you don't have the family, this is the one right here. If you don't have it at all, then bam, there you go. Axew, well, it was out last year, but you know, it's still a desirable shiny right there, so that's why it's top tier. And of course, Pansear is a regional, same as Pansay, so that's why it's here as well. Again, you need a ticket to get the Pansears to spawn from an incense. Now, second tier, you're looking at Hitmonlee, Hitmonchan, and Cranidos. Now, Hitmonlee, Hitmonchan, they've been in the game for a while. Their shinies been in the game for a while, and I want to say that most people have those shinies, but there may be some of you that don't, so that's why it's second tier. Cranidos, it had that special research day where those shinies was like popping up like crazy from the field research. So I feel like everybody should have that family completed for the most part. So, but in case, you know, we got some relatively new players who missed that event, or you need one more to complete the family because you didn't take part in that entire event, whatever the case may be, that's why it's there. PvP relevant Pokemon, obviously Machop. So that would be there, and Hitmonchan. Hitmonchan is heavily slept on. So yeah, those would be the two PvP relevant Pokemon. Hitmonchan is Great League relevant, while Machop, which evolves all the way up to Machamp, is mega relevant. Well, really is relevant in all three, although you want to focus more on Master League than the other two. But it still is relevant in the PvP scene. Now, in terms of raids, Machop and Drillbur. Machop, obviously Machamp, is a great fighting type Pokemon for raids, obviously. So yeah, if you need more of those candies, go for it right there. And Drillbur, which evolved to Escadrille, is actually pretty good in raids as well. So you want to focus on that as well. Next up is the Circuitry Habitat, which starts at 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. This obviously, all this is local time. Now, there's really only two Mega Pokemon that you want to evolve, in my opinion. That's Manectric or Ampharos. So we're talking the electric types here. So with Ampharos, it's also got a second type being, which is Dragon, but there will be no Dragon spawns unless you're going to be doing Axew Rage. We'll get more on that in a second. But in terms of Manectric, it only have one typing, which is Electric. Now, of course, there's other types that will be spawning, but like me personally, Manectric or Ampharos would be the one you want to focus on, in my opinion. But if there's others that you want to focus on, knock yourselves out. Let me know in the comment section below. Now, the top tier Pokemon you want to go for is the Sandy Form Burmy, the Combee, really the female Combee, the Fungus, the Shellmelt, and of course, if you have a ticket, the Panpour. Now, Sandy, well, there's like 3 different forms of Sandy, Burmy rather, and they all have different evolutions. So if you're trying to complete the family like I am, although I need the grass one, which is a plant, we'll get more on that in a second, then that's why Burmy is on the list right here. Now, Combee is on the list because that is a relatively new shiny, and the female is rare to find. And that shiny female Combee, which you can evolve, looks sick as heck. I got the family completed going back to Seattle, so I'm good with that. But not everybody's me. So that's why Combee is on the list, especially female. Fungus is another relatively new one as well. So that's why that's on the list. Same for Shellmelt, another relatively new one as well. And then, of course, we got Panpour, which is new, and it is a regional. Where, although, if you're in America, you're going to see Panpour, so there you go with that. But if you're not in America, then yeah, you want to get that one if you have a ticket and using the incense. Now, the second tier Pokemon from this habitat that you should be looking for are Shinx, Electrike, and Clink. So Shinx, you know, obviously it's been in raids for a while, and unless you don't spend money in doing the raids, also, actually, now to think about it, Shinx might come off this list because it did have its own community today, actually. It did have its own community today, so Shinx will come off this list. Now, Electric, on the other hand, yeah, so I feel like everybody should have, or for the most part, most of you should have at least one shiny. But the reason why it's a second tier, because of the fact that most people should have at least one shiny. Now, if you want to complete the family, now I can help out with that. Now, remember also, its evolved form was obviously spawning in Mega Raids, and you can get the shiny from that as well, which I had a much more successful time in doing than looking for the shiny Electrike back in the day. But I still got the shiny Electrike. But nevertheless, it's in the second tier, along with Clink. Clink is the one that been in raids, just like Shinx once upon a time. So even though you might have one shiny, but if you're trying to complete the family, I think I need one more, to be honest. Then this would be the time for you to try and get the shiny Clink. Now remember, you need a ticket for that, and you must be using the incense. Now, PvP relevant Pokemon, you look at Joltik, Combee, and Stunfisk. Joltik is meta relevant in Great League. Really, all three of them are. So, Joltik, without question, then you evolve it. Mega relevant Pokemon Great League. Combee is, well, you want the female for this one. You want the female Combee, and you want to evolve it because it's good in Great League. And then the regular Stunfisk is also good in Great League as well. I want to say it's good in Ultra League as well. I know Galarian Stunfisk is. I'm not sure about the regular. I could be wrong on that one. But all three, at the very least, are great in Great League. And then there's no way relevant Pokemon here, same as the first habitat. But the Mega that you want to be focusing on here is the Electrike. Electrike obviously have a Mega. And you want to be catching as many of those as possible. And remember, that's when it evolves to Manectric. So there you go with that. So let's move on to the fourth and final habitat here. That would be the Neolego. And the Megas that you want to evolve here would be Beedrill, Aerodactyl, or Venusaur. So there you go with that. If I had to pick one, I would probably go with the Venusaur because it's grass and poison type, and you're gonna see a lot of those spawning in this habitat. Now, the top tier Pokemon from this habitat that you should be focusing on would be the plant for Burmy, which is the one I'll be focusing on, Mona and Swirlix. So again, you're trying to complete that Burmy family. There you go. You're gonna need that plant right there. Mona and Swirlix, they are relatively new, and you know the shinies that is. So I would be gunning for those two as well. Now, the second tier Pokemon that you want to focus on, I'm gonna put Tangela on this list without question, because that some people might view that as a rare shiny, even though I got that already, and it's evolved form, so I got that family completed. But again, not everybody's me, so if you still need that shiny or you still need that family completed, there you go with that. But I feel like that most people should have at least one. Now, Clefairy and Tentacool, I put those on this list, but as maybes. I'm not sure how desirable of shinies those two will be, but they still made it barely on the second tier list. Now, there's a lot of PvP relevant Pokemon here. We got Bulbasaur, we got Clefairy, we got Turtwig, we got Frillis, we got Trophies, which you need a ticket for, and Frillis, you will also need a ticket for. Now, this is the pink Frillis in comparison to the other Frillis that I think I saw earlier today that is blue. I may have missed that, but anywho. No. Yeah, so there. The pink one is the ticket, and then the blue one is regular. So there you go with that. Now, Bulbasaur, Great League, Ultra League. I'm not sure about Master League, but Great League definitely. Maybe Ultra League, but not Master League. It is relevant right there. Clefable is really meta relevant in Great League. Turtwig is good in Great League, but the better option would be Bulbasaur. Frillis, both versions are great in Great League and maybe Ultra League. I doubt it. And of course, Tropius is a good Great League as well. But again, a better grass option would be Bulbasaur, although Tropius is also a flying type as well. Now, Raids and Megas. There's only one Pokemon here that you should be focusing on. That's Bulbasaur. Bulbasaur have a Mega and is very useful in Raids. So that should be the only one that you want to focus on. Speaking of Raids, I'm going to be honest with you. Do not waste your time on 1-star nor 3-star raids. Now, 1-star, all of those Pokemon you will easily see from time to time. So the Pokemon that I'm referring to in Tier 1 are Pikachu wearing the scarf. You're gonna be seeing that spawning throughout the entire event. Axew and Rockruff. So Axew has been spawning, or not spawning, yeah, will be spawning in the route doing the second habitat. So if you try and get a shiny Axew, there you go with that. It's been around in the past, and more than likely, following the traditions of dragon types that have been showing up in raids for GoFest, is going to get a community day. So there you go with that. And Rockruff. Rockruff have been in raids a lot, so that's why I would not recommend you raid your passes or time doing 1-star raids. Now, 3-star raids, there's really only 2 in here that is worth maybe doing. Snorlax and Druddigon. We've seen those 2 in raids time and time again, especially Druddigon. So I would like, at this point, I feel like most people should have those shinies. If not, I would still say, well, pump the brakes. I don't know if you should do those because more likely both of them will be back in raids at a later time outside of GoFest activities. So that's why I would not say do tier 1 or tier 3 raids. Tier 5, on the other hand, is a different story. So I would say focus on the Lego because that is the best non-mega poison type attacker in the game. Circuitry is the best non-mega and non-shadow electric type attacker in the game. So focus on those 2 if you're trying to get a poison type attacker, a really good one in the Lego, and a really good electric type attacker in circuitry. Now Buzzroll is really good for PvP, really, especially Great League. So it's somewhere we place Heracross, which was also good in Great League as well. So do Buzzroll if you're into PvP. If not, skip on that as well. Or let's do it if you just one of the decks. And then after that, there you go. Same with the other one, which is the Pheromosa. Just do that one time just to get in the decks, and then that's it. So those are the tips and tricks I have for you guys regarding this Saturday's GoFest finale event. Let me know in the comment section below if there's other tips and tricks that you might have that I didn't mention. And also, this is very, 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 very important. Leave in the comment section your thoughts about the daily adventure incense. I want to do a review on it. It's been out for over a month rather, and I'll be honest, I haven't really been paying attention to that like that. I have here and there, but I still want some more clarification and verified information regarding the daily adventure incense. Let me know what are your thoughts about that in the comment section below. It is very, very important. So make sure you're active in the comment section. And I'm gonna call it a wrap. So with all that said, y'all know this is boy New J Gatsby, aka New Stimulate Smith, saying peace out, y'all, and I'll see y'all next time. Yeah. Thanks, man. After you subscribe to the channel, make sure you click the bell icon so you never miss a new video or a live stream ever again. Thanks, guys.
Blue is the trainer, articulating paint. With my tongue, I done things that people said I can't. Now they rank 'em with the elite, but it's for the people, and victory is part of defeat. Cause when you get back on your feet, then you try again. Learn from mistakes, show 'em that I got what it takes, and I'm dying to win. I'ma hit and move away.